Hi everybody, welcome back. Tony again with Shinsho Yoga. And for this week's video, I would like to talk about a concept that I share in my classes a couple of times a year probably. And that is, apologies without changes in behavior are just manipulation. Think about that a second. Apologies without changes in behavior are just manipulation. I'm sure we all know someone who maybe does something, transgresses against us, right? Something that they do that they continually apologize for, right? Something that either inconveniences us or disrespects us or something in some way, and they continually apologize for it. And we go, I understand, we feel bad, and you go, okay. But they never change their behavior, and they continually do it. And they continually screw you up. That's just manipulation. That's all it is. Whether it's a conscious manipulation where they are actually, have a surreptitious or devious side and they're actually trying to do that to get their way, to try to angle or, however they want to set up what they do in their life to be able to get over on other people, or it's an unconscious thing that they just continually do. It doesn't matter. It's still just manipulation. If someone continually apologizes to you for doing something towards you and they never change their behavior, they're just manipulating you. That's it. Now, there may be examples where you say, well, but this person can't help this, or this person has that problem, right? And I feel bad, or whatever you do, right? Understood. It's still manipulation. Let me give you an example. I don't sleep well. I haven't since I was a kid. Some days are better than others. But I have never been a morning person, and I've always been a night owl. So when I worked in the corporate world, getting up early in the morning to be able to be at work at 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock right on the dot was always a challenge for me. Always a challenge for me. Many of the places I worked at, it became an issue, and there were places I was fired from because of it. Right now, I'm not talking showing up to be there at 9:30. Be there at 9 and I show up at 9:30. I'm talking 9:04, 9:07, things like that. Very strict about it. They want you at your desk working. Now, again, I didn't sleep well. Sometimes I would stare at the ceiling for hours and not fall asleep till 3 or 4 in the morning. So if I had to get up at 6 and I only had 2 hours of sleep, it was real difficult, and I had a lot of problems from it. I often had a long commute to where I worked, these places that I worked. I worked in finance, so I'm working in financial districts up towards New York City and things like that. I live in New Jersey. So they would be long commutes, an hour, right? And if you miss a train or you leave at the wrong time, you're stuck in traffic and you're done. So I had a lot of problems being on time. And many times I had to go into the office and explain myself. And every time I went into the office and explained myself, I would always profusely apologize. I'm sorry about that. I just ran into some traffic this morning. Sorry about that. I missed this train. They changed the times. Sorry about that this morning. I wasn't feeling well when I woke up. Unfortunately, very few of them understood not sleeping well. They would just say, well, just didn't take some sleeping pills, right? They didn't care, right? They didn't want to hear it. So I made every excuse in the book that I could to keep the job, so I wouldn't get fired, because I needed the money. I needed the income. That's what I did, right? And the reason I was doing it wasn't I was out partying late at night. It wasn't that I was, running to the bars till 4 in the morning and then showing up. It was medical. I didn't sleep. I went to sleep studies and everything, and I could never fix it. But it was still manipulation. I was telling them all of these stories to keep my job there because there was nothing that I was going to change, because there was nothing I could change, right? But the situation, you say, well, but Tony, there was nothing you could change. That doesn't matter to them. They needed people in the office at their desk at 9 o'clock. That was the rules. It wasn't we need people in their desk at 9 o'clock at their desk ready to work unless you don't sleep well. It was, we need you in the office at your desk at 9 o'clock working. And I wasn't. So I gave them every excuse in the book to keep my job. It was still manipulation. And again, you may look and say, but Tony, you didn't sleep well. You're having problems. You had medical reason, this and that. They didn't afford anything for that. And you have to keep that in mind with people that you deal with, that yes, they may have a problem, but does that mean it's your problem? Right? You may have a friend who is really bad, let's say at time. I have a friend that anytime he wants to get together with me, he tells me, man, you better be here right by this time. And if I'm not there at that time, boy, you will hear it. You will hear it. He's never been on time to my house once. And he always apologizes profusely. I always have to. I always do this with you. I apologize. I'm sorry. He's not going to change. It's just manipulation. It's not your job to figure out somebody else's problem. It's not your job to accommodate for other people's problems. Yes, we understand someone has a problem, right? Same thing with me. This is the reason that I do what I do now, teaching and as a yoga teacher and all of the things I do. I work for myself now, and I don't have that problem anymore because I set my own hours. I set when I work. So I don't have that problem anymore. But if I wanted to work in that environment, those were their rules. And I wasn't able to adhere to them. But I wanted to keep the job. So I told them whatever they wanted to hear to keep it going. Manipulation. That's what it is. Apologies without changes in behavior are just manipulation. Again, there may be people in your life that have a valid reason for what's going on. They may have a real problem. They may not have a real problem either. Understand, everything in life is a choice, and they may choose to hold on to this problem instead of getting help for it or getting better from it because they prefer the advantages they get from that. They can use it as an excuse. There are a lot of people that do that. A lot. And they can continue to live their life the way they always have and just say they're sorry to you. And you go, okay, I understand you have a problem. I'm not telling you not to be compassionate towards people, but it doesn't mean you have to buy it. The spiritual life is one of being genuine and authentic. It's not being positive. It's not good vibes only. It's not smiling at everybody and, okay, you have a problem. Your life is your life. Your time is your time. Your life, your time is valuable. If someone is robbing that time from you or interfering with your life, for whatever reason it is, you don't have to keep them in your life. You don't have to tolerate it. You can understand. You don't have to get mad at them and go, you're just manipulating me. You can go, look, I understand. That doesn't work for me. I have to go. I'll see you around. Take care. Just that simply. You don't have to get angry at them. You don't have to give them lectures. You don't have to go on and on about how they're just manipulating you. You can just say goodbye. But understand that apologies without changes in behavior just become manipulation. If somebody keeps doing the same thing to you, and they keep saying they're sorry, and they don't change their behavior, it's just manipulation. So something to think about. Or not think about, as we do. Just letting the thoughts arise, pass by, and returning to the breath. Just breathe. So, that's all for this week. Thanks again for watching. Namaste.